Hello everybody, so here I am after shop hours, hard day at the shop, trying to fix pack car junk, but that's a whole different story. But in this video, as rough as I look, I wanted to talk about the company's Peterbilt helmet here. So let's go. I posted a picture of this, of our Peterbilt, what we call the football helmet, or helmet, which was a nickname that we gave these things back in the day. For those who don't know, I've been a diesel tech for 35 years, so I remember when these were brand new. And the first series of these, the first batch of these, had issues with cabs cracking. Peterbilt brought them in under warranty and replaced cabs, but ours never suffered that issue. But we had 5 of these, 3 with Detroit 60 series and 2 with the Caterpillar 3176B. This is the last remaining one that we have. It was used, it was the pride of the fleet at one time when it was brand new. I posted this as a 94, but I believe it's a 91 or 92. When I posted that picture, I was totally shocked that this truck got 560 likes and 165 comments on there when I asked, is this truck worth restoring? Because, you know, I would hate to see it sold for scrap or go to the scrap yard. I was hoping that, you know, because I definitely have no interest in doing a restoration on this myself. I've already done one truck for the company, and quite honestly, a cab over, especially this style, has no interest to me at all. So I said to everybody that I would post a video on it, because there was quite a bit of people, I was shocked, that are interested in this. Alright, so let's talk about the good. The good part about this truck, it does have a Detroit 60 series in it. Low RPM one, 1800 RPM Detroit. Why is that good? Well, a low RPM engine, you're never going to hurt it, which is probably why it's still running and living today. We degraded it, I don't know, like 14 years ago to being a yard dog. Finally, after like 3 or 4 years ago, we got tired of using it as a yard dog because it got to be a pain in the ass. So we use an Ottawa instead, a retired Ottawa. Now this thing just sits. It does have a Road Ranger 9-speed in it. That's another good thing, because those can be easily converted into a 13-speed. So here we have, again, what we call the Peterbilt helmet. Some people call them, the nickname them, the Darth Vader. And all in all, the body isn't that bad, but I do want to go over some key points. So when people come to look at this thing or consider you know, purchasing it, they're going to know what you're getting into. I'm not going to come off like one of these people. I know what I got, and this is what I want. The owner, I got with the owner of the company, and he said to make him an offer. And to me, well, that's not really a good starting point, so I figured I'd be the mediator. So let's talk about price first. Alright, so what is this thing actually worth? Some people in the comments said they only made like 773 of these things. So, but does that make it a collector status? Not really. So let's talk about pricing as a core. And here's where I'm going with this. So let's take the engine for example. If I was to take this engine out, and it is a running engine, by the way, and we'll prove that here in a minute. An engine that just rotates over 360 degrees, a Series 60 Detroit, is worth $3,500 a core. The 9-speed Road Ranger is worth $2,000 as a core. So there we have already like $5,200 just and worth as a core value in just this truck. I do realize there's a cost to towing and labor if you were going to do something like that. So I would like to see offers starting out at $4,000 and up, to be fair to both sides, and fair to my company and fair to the people who are looking at this, because in all honestly, this thing is worth $4,000 just at least in core value and scrap. Alright, so let's talk about what's wrong with it. Alright, so first things first, the door handle broke some time ago. You can still open it up. You got to reach inside with the lever. The door still will open up on the driver's side. You just got to push the lever up. The door holdback also broke, and because of that, the door on a windy day, one of the mechanics got up in here, and you can see broke the driver's side windshield. The nose lock is broken on this, so we got a bungee cord. That's why we have a bungee cord. The nose, however, does flip up with no problem. For those that don't know, the nose flips up so you can check fluids and stuff like that on these. That's what made them nice maintenance wise. Okay, and let's go around here. The body on this, all in all, the cab body isn't too bad. It does, I mean, you know, it's got these typical driver dings in it. Right there. Broken step. It has bud wheels on it. What else is wrong with this thing? On the back end, the fiberglass fairing is starting to crack. So that's going to have to be repaired. I would highly suggest, before even moving this thing, that you bring something to bungee cord that, or a bracket, stabilize that so it's not bouncing up and down and catching the wind. Obviously the exhaust stack is missing. It rotted off long ago, so we just took it off as a yard dog. I put two semi-okay batteries in it, so hopefully it starts. The air cleaner, you can see up top, has rubbed a hole in it. That needs to be replaced. Somebody was asking if it had airbag suspension. It does. It has the Peterbilt air leaf suspension in it. However, you're going to need all 4 new airbags, so we have the air ride valve rod disconnected so we could use it as a yard jockey without it going up. You do have a couple of broken lug nuts on that wheel. All the tires are junk. This one actually blew apart while it was sitting, so I would highly suggest not even towing this. It's going to need to be done on a Landau or a gooseneck. I would not recommend a drop deck, because I don't think, even with the fairing being that low, I don't know if it would make height restrictions or not with a drop deck. You can see obviously the mud flaps are broke off, the tail lights are busted off. At one time a trailer dropped on it and got the rear cross member. The fifth wheel was still working. It would still catch and release. Of course, we haven't used this for a yard dog in quite some time, so I'm sure it still works. Although I would, rebuild that, of course. And yeah, it's ugly. It just needs a lot of TLC. And I'm just putting it out there to see if there's any interest of people wanting this thing to fix up, hopefully fix up. You know, I hate to see it be used for parts since we saved it all these years, but well, that's up to the person who ends up buying it, I guess. So let's take a look up inside. So all in all, it's not too bad. I'll jump up there in a minute. A couple missing switches, some missing gauges, a couple missing gauges that they'll be used on other trucks. It's kind of dark. I want to see. Oh, there we go. So it's kind of dark in here. I'm trying to use the light from the phone. You know, typical wear and tear. All in all, the headliner's not bad. Like I said, there's a couple of switches missing that we use for something else. I believe that's the glove box. I don't know if that's back here or not. One missing gauge. All right. So I wanted to show you guys the inside of this as well. You can see the windshield from inside. Unfortunately, it was a good piece of glass at one time, but it is what it is. Now I'm sure there's going to be people wanting to know the mileage. So here we go. 846, 854. That's the mileage on this truck. So it hasn't reached a million miles yet. Anybody who knows anything about a Detroit 60 series, especially when it comes to a DDEC 2 or a DDEC 3, these things will easily push 1.2, 1.3 million miles before even rebuilding them. These were great engines. I don't know if it's a DDEC 2 or 3, but in my opinion, they're both equally as good. Alright, so we're going to attempt to start this thing up. It's been quite some time since this thing ran. Like I said, I put 2 used goodish batteries. Somewhat goodish. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Alright, so let's try her out. Alright, so here we go. Detroit power. Now I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to say, fake video, you probably had it running yesterday. Nope, this thing has not started in at least 6 months, and it fired right up. I can tell you it doesn't like the cold. If we were in the middle of winter, yeah, it would have cranked a little bit. It does not like the cold at all. So these things needed a block heater for sure. Again, Series 60 Detroit. And look at that. It's not even smoking. Now I would recommend a refresh if you're actually going to use it. But as you can see, it is not smoking. No blue smoke, no white smoke. It's running perfect. Not missing. Let's give her a few revs here. Oh yeah. Alright, so the air compressor's working. We're building up air. You can see where the door hold back is broken. Wipers work. I think currently some of these gauges aren't working, like the RPM tach doesn't work. I don't know about the speedometer. I don't want to mislead anybody thinking that all the gauges are working. Again, you have to go through this truck for sure. Alright, we have a pretty big lot where I work at, so I can actually take this around the lot and drive it for you guys and not get into trouble with the law because I'm on private property. Here we go. Rusty driving a cab over with the cable shifts and all that stupid stuff, but I wanted to show you guys this thing does drive. It does move. I wanted to go through the gears a little bit. As you can see, the high-low works just fine. The end of our lot, so again, it's not legal to drive on the road. Alright, so let's go through the gears here. You can see the gears. Pretty smooth for a cab overdoing it. Alright, so we're going to record, or try and record outside so you guys can hear the actual engine running when I'm shifting. guys get the gist of how this truck runs and drives now. The rain actually stopped. Alright, so there is a maxi chamber on the back of this leaking. I can hear it when I release the brakes. So somewhere back there is a maxi leaking, but it holds enough air that I was able to drive it around the yard, so I didn't want to leave that out. The air suspension valve is leaking too. Not that I think it was much good to begin with. The bushings don't seem to be too bad on the torque arms. I think they got gear wear on them, but it's not like they're coming out. Don't need brakes and drums all the way around, tires. If you're going to do it right, you might as well put Alcoas on it. If you really wanted to do it right, you'd actually put unimount hubs on it, but that's a big expense because I'm not a fan of Bud wheels at all. Alright, so I grabbed the photo of the data plate, so it is a 91 officially. Grabbed the data photo of the VIN. Again, as you guys see, it's a running, driving truck. I understand there's cost of towing and stuff like that. I like to see offers at least starting at $4,000. And we'll go from there. And I'll pass it on to the owner of the company. And hopefully somebody buys it that will actually do something with it. I know there's going to be a lot of comments of people who don't like this style truck, which I do understand. There's not many people around here who like this style truck either. But there's people who find them unique enough that they're looking for them. And that's what this video is for, to reach out to the people who are looking for something like this. Alright, if you're interested, leave a comment in the description of this video, and we'll get back to you guys.